A summer in rural Oahu takes an exciting turn for two Brooklyn raised siblings when a journal pointing to long lost treasures sets them on an epic adventure. Hello, everybody. I'm Steve from VALHARTV, and today I'll be reviewing Finding Ohana. This is a Netflix exclusive movie, and it is currently number 6 on Netflix's top 10. So we start out the movie with Peely racing a bicycle through Brooklyn with her friend. They're geocaching. So they're going from location to location, finding clues to the next location, and they're in a competition so they can go to geocaching summer camp, I believe it is. So they're racing through, which I thought was a really good opening sequence. It shows how excited they are about geocaching and doing things like that. So, versus being on an Xbox or PlayStation, just playing video games all day. But then we do see that Peely and her family end up in rural Oahu. Peely's mother, Leilani, who's played by Kelly Wu, has brought Peely and her brother E back to their childhood home because something happened to their grandfather. So she had to go back and help him. And you can tell that Peely and E aren't happy to be there. There's they don't have any of their comforts that they do back in Brooklyn, like Wi-Fi, like a steady cell phone signal, like all the first world problems, and they don't have any connection to Hawaii, their heritage. And this movie really puts a big emphasis on the Hawaiian traditions and trying to reconnect with their Hawaiian heritage. So we see that Peely ends up going through a whole bunch of stuff of her uncle's, and she finds and steals an old notebook with clues to a treasure left behind by pirates. This is a legendary treasure that nobody's apparently found. So soon they go on an adventure to find this treasure, and along the way they do find themselves and they reconnect with themselves. And they start to reconnect with their Hawaiian heritage. This movie has caves, spirits, treasure. It even has a couple of challenges that they have to overcome. So we even get to see scenes where Peely is talking for the pirates. So when they go back in time to show what the pirates are doing with the treasure, we get to see where Peely starts talking for them, and they kind of move and act the way she's talking. So there were some fun parts to this movie. There really were. This movie. The location is set in Hawaii. It's a beautiful place. I've actually never been there, and I really would like to at some point in my life. But and the effects were all practical effects, and they were good. The score wasn't bad. It's all the more modern day music that the kids listen to nowadays. We had no issues with that. The acting really wasn't that bad. Most of the characters in this, especially the four main characters, are, I believe, all fairly new to acting, so I didn't have an issue with them. I thought they were decent, and at points they were actually good. What I did have an issue with is the dialogue. There were some real cringe moments to it, and there were some moments in the movie where it kind of dragged on too long. So there was only a few issues I really had with this. But there was character development and growth in this, which I thought was really good, especially by the end of the movie. And this movie's just over 2 hours as well. So I think they could have made it just a tiny bit shorter, and it still would have been, a fine movie. This movie is steeped in Hawaiian traditions, which is actually really cool. I did like how they really showed a lot of the Hawaiian traditions in this, especially when trying to enter caves or honoring the dead in this. So I thought that was pretty good. This also has an Indiana Jones and Goonies vibe. And if you're really, really nostalgic about those movies, Ki Hugh Kwan plays in this movie. And he played in both Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom as Short Round. And he played Data in Goonies. So I actually thought that was pretty good. This movie, though... And for me, kind of just fell short. I can't really place my finger on it, but I know it put more emphasis on the traditions and of Hawaii and reconnecting with your heritage, the Hawaiian heritage of these two Brooklyn teenagers. But it just fell a little short. I thought the treasure hunt could have been a little bit better in this, but yeah, I just can't put my finger on where it kind of fell a little short for me. This still wasn't a bad movie. There were some fun parts to it, but I mean, I would at least give it a 6.5, maybe 7 at the most out of 10. But I'll stick with 6.5 because it just, to me, it had those vibes to it, but it just didn't deliver on those vibes. I feel, but I do think this will appeal to quite a few people. To be honest with you, this was like especially for the younger audience that it's geared towards. So I think that people will like this movie. Like I said, I'd give it a 6.5, maybe 7 at the most out of 10. If you guys like what I do, please hit the like button and also subscribe, as I'll be doing more content each week. Take care for now, everybody.